And we're live. Welcome back, everyone, to the HVAC 2.0 show. Got a few people with us tonight, and I think we'll be doing a little bit of debriefing and we'll walk through a report in which Ted's made some customizations on. I guess we'll just roll right into starting with some debriefs. What have you been having going on, Ronnie?
I mean, I've had some interesting calls today, but mostly free quotes. I do have a comfort consult scheduled tomorrow, but closed a pretty good job, two good. Well, I closed one from last month, and then I closed two other jobs today. The two other jobs today, unfortunately, are just AC coils. One of them is a condo. One of them is a house we're gonna pull and reinstall the furnace. Um, some company put it in a few years ago. R22 air conditioner with a 410A evaporator coil with an expansion valve, which is interesting. It's ran like that for about, I don't know, since about 8 years.
How does that is that like trimming the charge and figuring out how to get it to, how do you do that?
I have no idea because 410A is like, I mean, the only thing I can figure is it's so oversized that it was able to, it is a two and a half ton and 1,000 square foot house with a 80,000 BTU furnace with an actual true ECM blower motor, 2019 Linux furnace.
Oh,
so
what was the static?
So the static from the technician was about 0.85. I don't know that that's accurate or not. I did not take static. They declined me taking it today.
Okay. So you didn't feel like, I mean, do you ever do it for free?
Sometimes.
Okay.
In this case, I wasn't going to. We've been doing maintenance on this furnace for a minute. So they had a home warranty for a good while that expired in 2020. And they've used us for maintenance all the time. They used the home warranty company for 5 years because when they bought their house, it came with a 5-year warranty. And it was a 2002 air conditioner, R22, 2.5 ton, Train X11 with a Linux 2019, 2020 80% efficient gas furnace, 2-stage with a true ECM blower motor. So home warranty company did the coil in 2017. They put a Carrier R410A coil in with the expansion valve. It had a R410A expansion valve in it. Confirmed that today. Compressor was shorted to ground. So the homeowner had mentioned that he's a school teacher. He mentioned the last couple weeks he'd been resetting the breaker and the AC came on and it worked. And last night the breaker tripped, and when he went to reset it, it would just slam immediately. He actually went outside and pulled the panel off and disconnected the compressor from the capacitor, and it no longer tripped. So he called us.
He did that.
He did that himself. Yeah, he's a teacher, but he's also like a science. He does like science. He's pretty smart.
I guess.
So
pretty smart that he's not dead, right?
Pretty smart, yeah. And he had the breaker off. He also had the disconnect off as well. And he double checked it. He said, I think I have a bad compressor. He calls us. We're so busy. We had a technician come from out of town, a T&G or Thomas and Galbraith technician comes out, looks at it, finds compressor shorted to ground, disconnects the plug, shows the homeowner it runs, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, I figured it was bad. He wanted to replace the compressor. He said that he hadn't worked all summer, and he gets like a, I guess like
smaller amount of money or something.
30% of his pay during the summer. He said his wife was also a school teacher, so the same kind of thing. They work for the same county or whatever.
So he's feeling a little bit out of money.
Yep. So I was like, no problem. We have financing available, which he was happy to hear that. So we did finance it. he did elect to go back with an air conditioner. We did downsize it a half a ton, and we are reinstalling his furnace, changing his filter system out. He has allergies, all that good stuff.
So he'll be in better shape, and you've protected yourself from the fact that he didn't get a hybrid.
Yeah, we're going to do a riser box under the furnace. We're going to put a coil shelf between the coil and the furnace. We're going to do a new return drop. We're going to do a 4-inch filter cabinet. So, and then we're going to replace the line, set the outdoor unit, the pad whip disconnect. So it turned out pretty good. And
was he happy with the process?
He was, yeah. And
was
I asked him, go ahead.
Was his wife there too?
Not at the beginning, but at the end when we started talking about pricing, yes.
Okay.
And then they ended up buying the best air conditioner option that I had. They weren't real comfortable with heat pump options just because they'd been there and whatever. So they have a
offer decline, baby.
Yeah, they also have a natural draft gas furnace that right next to the furnace, and there's a return grill cut into the return drop. So we're going to take that out, put a bigger drop in, all that stuff. So
another return in the CAS.
Yeah, I see those all the time.
Huh. Was there any melting around the top of the water heater?
No, but the water heater's brand new, so.
Okay. How did your month end up?
So I was number 2 in the entire company.
Oh, good for you.
Mike Free beat me by a little bit, not by a whole lot.
How many leads did he have?
I don't know his lead number. His close rate's higher than mine. His average ticket's a lot lower, about $5,000 lower.
Oh, wow.
And then
and he's only getting turnover. He's not running marketing lead, or you don't know that either.
He's not running marketed leads at all.
Okay.
So
you're turning good and bad leads into more money than he is.
Yeah, I do a lot of marketing calls. So
okay.
Yeah, so his revenue per lead was $91.53. Mine was $82.09.
Okay.
And my average ticket was $15.5 and his was $11.5. He did $530,873. I did $451,513.
451, and you had less than 40 leads?
I had about 49.
About 50 leads. Okay.
Yeah.
That's killing it. Do people notice?
Yeah, I actually had a guy text me from Cincinnati this morning. Jake Garriga. I'm trying to find his text message right now. He said, "Nice month last month, my guy," is what he said. And
you think he might be interested in using the process?
He actually was hired to do blower door testing, and then somebody in the company decided that they weren't going to let him do it.
Okay.
So probably. He does pretty good. He's only been in sales since last year, and his close rate's 52% with a 6370 rev per lead and 319,000 last month. 52% close rate.
Okay, so he had more leads than you too, also.
Yeah, for sure. Cincinnati's busier than Louisville is.
Okay.
They're a bigger company. And then Mike had a 79.31% close rate, which is crazy. Again, Mike used to teach sales training.
Yeah, he's got some kind of secret sauce.
For 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's worked here for another 20. And he only works three weeks a month, but he gets a lot of calls those days.
80% close rate is Comfort Consult level closing.
Yeah, well, but again, that's turnovers.
Yeah. But even turnovers are a good number. I think is 65-ish.
Yeah, but he's like not new customer turnovers. He's like,
Oh, loyal
see what I
customer
mean?
turnovers.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and he's got a lot of repeat customers even. He's worked here forever, so
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Which
definitely a
again,
different beast getting only
definitely
turnovers
deserves
of current customers.
That
He
know
definitely
you.
Yeah.
he deserves it though. He's worked here forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How'd
Yeah.
Austin do?
Let's take a look. I hadn't even looked at his. It's weird because one month he'll be like way at the top, and then so his close rate was 43%, about 198,000. Average ticket 12,354, and rev per lead was 5342. He got a
Okay.
lot more free quotes last month than he normally gets.
Yeah, he's probably a little rough on around the edges on the free quote process because I don't think he's
If he's even
done it that much.
Is he using it?
I don't know if he's even using it because I don't think. I mean, he's sort of like the red-haired stepchild up there. I think he gets all the comfort consults, obviously, and then he's way down on the totem pole for free quotes.
I did have one guy beat me revenue per lead. I don't even know who he is, and he beat me on sales revenue. His close rate's lower, and his revenue per lead's lower, so I'm imagining he got quite a few more calls than me.
Couple of big sales.
15,706 is his average. He did 471 with a 44% close rate. I think he just got a lot more calls. And believe it or not, Travis Miller, that is using Likely Load in Louisville, finished at 441, which is 10,000 less than me. 46.77%, which is better than his average of 40. And an average ticket of 15,230 and a revenue per lead of 71.24. Travis actually ran more calls than I ran last month.
Sounds like he's doing more than Likely Load. It sounds like he might be starting to venture into the tables.
He's doing a lot better, for sure.
Because it sounds like he's selling better equipment.
He is.
To have a higher revenue per lead like that.
Absolutely.
So can you find out if he's started to play with
yeah, I can talk
the
to
tables?
him. I've been talking to him a little more.
Okay.
So with Cody, quitting,
be interesting if he was like secretly using the whole process.
Yeah. Cody actually had the lowest revenue per lead last month in the entire company.
Really?
Which is interesting to me.
That's just kind of surprising.
Well, he did give a 2-week notice, so maybe he just don't care. I don't know.
You'd think he'd want to go out with a bang.
You would think so.
I mean, he knows they're going to pay him. Huh.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty 28.85% close rate.
Huh.
There was a guy lower than that at 25%. I don't even know who that dude is. Never even heard of him. He might be new or something.
Mm-hmm. So I haven't heard from Ken. I reached out to him, but you think that they might want to use him for problems? I did talk to Austin. He said he had to get up at 3:00 in the morning to go over there and run that.
So what day was that?
Well, that day that they tried to schedule you to go out there.
I don't know what day that was.
I think it
don't
was
know.
last Friday or
Oh, did he
or
end up going out
Thursday.
that day?
He went out whatever day it was scheduled with that homeowner.
He didn't call me about it or anything. He did. I figured he would call me and ask me about that call.
Yeah, so I called him, and I guess it was an interesting call. There's a lot of connection, a lot of duct leakage to outdoors, and a couple of rooms that are more than half connected to outdoors.
The duct leakage outdoors is obvious by the way the ductwork looks from the pictures.
Right, and apparently, who was it that sold that job so many years ago?
I don't remember his name, but they fired him.
Right. Apparently, he sold them new ductwork or a bunch of
That
duct.
was Justin Ober that was using
Right.
HVAC20.
Right. It was supposed to be a comfort consult. So the company owns all those repairs.
Good.
Austin just gave them the facts. So what they do with it, I guess, is going to be up to them.
Yeah.
Up to the company, but
Maybe they'll stick a 4-ton in there for them.
And replace all the ductwork.
Yeah, maybe they will. That sounds like what they need up there, or fix the house. I mean, if we go in there and make
sounds
them all
like there
these
wasn't a lot of
promises-
insulation, and there's a lot of leakage, and there was a lot of duct leakage. So
if we go
all
up
of
there
those
and make
things
all those
combined.
promises and do all this and that and do all this and that and then downsize the equipment, you know,
With no blower door and no understanding of the shell.
They said that was before Justin was doing blower door testing.
Oh,
I don't think that's true, but
I don't think that's. Austin would know better.
Based on the date, I feel like that is a misleading.
Yeah.
And again, he might have just did a duct evaluation. I don't know. Again, based on the space, it probably should be a 3-ton. I did have a call this morning that was set up as a turnover that I had converted to a warranty call. I go out there. It's a 4-year-old system we installed. It's a modular house. We sold them a 2.5-ton. For some reason, we put a 3-ton in there. And it doesn't keep up on really hot days.
Oh.
We also did not put a modular home indoor unit in. We put a standard air handler in the house. So they have a high static duct system with a standard blower motor.
Oh, great.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'd probably try replacing this indoor unit first, see how that does. And then if it doesn't keep up, I would give them a bigger heat pump. So I would put an indoor unit that will accommodate a bigger heat pump. We took a 42 out. We put a 36 in. We also sold them a 30. And the salesperson put a question mark on the input BTU size because the numbers weren't legible, and then put a picture of the compressor numbers in Service Titan, and I was able to pull that compressor up, and that compressor belongs to a 3.5-ton air conditioner.
Okay.
And it's a 2,100 square foot modular house on a basement with vaulted ceilings and no attic.
Is the basement finished?
Yes, but it has no heating and cooling in it.
So replacing the duct is not an option.
The ductwork is above drywall, above the factory underpinning of the modular house. It's not accessible.
Okay.
So I couldn't even, they were like, well, what did the ductwork look like? I was like, I have no idea. It's not accessible. Can't see it. No way, how, none of that. But it hasn't kept up from a month after install even. It wasn't keeping up. I was like, sounds to me like we need to put them a mobile home air handler in and maybe give them a bigger heat pump.
Yeah. Does that heat pump have backup?
It does.
Has it kept up in the winter?
Not like the old system did. It had a 23 kW heat pack in it before, now it has a 15. I would have known by the furnace that it probably had a 3.5 or 4 ton heat pump on it before. Personally, I also would have Googled the model number off the compressor, like I did today, and found that belonged to a 3.5 ton air conditioner.
Right.
At least we put a heat pump in there, though. So.
Okay. Well, that's too bad.
It is what it is.
All these things that are avoidable, I wish there was a way to keep track of. I wish there was a way to keep track of, we made this mistake, and put that into a separate, like, warranty.
I'm sure the company keeps track of that because they've been replacing some equipment recently.
Yeah, avoiding those mistakes, it'd be nice to know how much money they'd save.
It would be nice to know that. I did sell a geothermal system on Friday that Wednesday we installed Friday.
Oh, cool. How'd that work out?
It worked out pretty good. I did drop it a ton.
You mentioned.
So it was a 58, which is a 65 ton basically, and I put a 48 in there. We did a performance model because that's all that was available. I reused their zoning. We did put a new flow center in. We do those low pressure flow centers that make them almost impossible to mess up. They got like a fill line and stuff in them. I don't know if you've seen those, but
no,
like
I don't know that much about geo, but
super dummy proof. I've never done one of these flow centers, but that's what the install manager wanted to use. And I was like, whatever, I sold it full price anyway.
Right.
And put a 15 kW heat pack in it instead of a 20. And it did kick out on I guess the freeze stat or whatever. It was something got too cold basically. So they did have to go and apparently install did not adjust
airflow
or the when you do a closed loop instead of an open loop, you got to set those to 15 degrees or something, and it comes preset for open loop, which doesn't make any sense because I put a copper heat exchanger instead of a Cooper nickel or whatever, which is for open loop. So you would think that would be preset for a closed loop since that's what they're used for mostly, but the carrier's like, we just set them all the same. Y'all should be smart enough to adjust them.
Well, and also you would think that that an open loop wouldn't need as much flow.
You would think, and it's also
so maybe it's a pump.
Zoned.
Maybe it's the water pump.
What's also zoned
with no bypass.
There's no bypass, but there is 2 zones, and we did adjust the zoning to where they don't close all the way.
Okay.
And we haven't had any issues with it since we've done that.
Okay. And it's a 2-stage, right?
It is a 2-stage. And in high speed with one zone open, it's only at 0.65 inches of water column. And that unit is rated at 1.2 inch.
That's at high speed, but you've got a program so it won't run on high speed with just one zone, right? Or no?
Well, the thermostats are Nest, so they're not as smart.
You don't have control.
We did not replace thermostats. We did not replace zoning. Right. The homeowner elected to keep all that stuff to save $5,000, which is fine. And I had a theory that maybe one of the zones was stuck shut when it called for cooling or something, but we don't know that to be true. That's just a theory that I had. But again, it's working. We haven't heard anything else, so it is what it is. But that one,
Tanner,
was good.
You have any interest in sales or service calls?
Sales wise, not really. I've got a few. Let's say I've got one pending that's probably going to be a what replaced the 5-stage and a Daikin Fit Goodman SD. Probably going to be doing one of each at a house.
Okay.
Um,
Gonna give Daikin another chance.
yeah, if
But
I'm
hold
gonna,
their feet to the fire this time a little bit
yeah.
to make sure
Well,
they get the right equipment.
yes. Well, for one, I'm only gonna if I'm doing a Goodman SD, I'm only doing straight heat pump. Hybrid is not going to be an option.
Okay,
Uh,
right.
and then also like I'll when they send me a quote with a price for this model number and this model number, I'm going to have them send me the HRI spec, so that way I at least know they went through the exercise of making sure there's a matchup and that those match.
Okay.
Um,
That's a good idea. That's a good
so
idea.
so doing that, I've had a couple of I had one interesting service call that there's some people that own a bunch of apartments and rentals that have started using me, and it's kind of been an interesting play around with that to see because that's just like a totally different ball game of dealing with a direct homeowner. Uh, but had one. It was an old. I'll say old. It was 410A, but it was still on the older side at this point. Piston system, AC furnace, and I am 80% sure that they put the piston in backwards, and it just kind of showed how drastically
Was
oversized
it a
this.
York?
No, it was a Goodman.
I just figured I'd ask because I've only seen a piston and backwards in a York unit. I didn't know that you could do that with Goodman.
If it's not in backwards, then it just has to be missing.
It
That's
could
the only
be.
that's the only thing I could think of because it is a piston system, and it's one of those where this the high side pressure is really low, the low side pressure is really high, and it's a 2-ton unit that's doing like 9,000 BTUs of cooling. And I was just like, have you had any problems out of this? And they're like, no. And I'm like, I mean, I would have to like take it apart to verify, but I'm 80% sure where they're missing. I don't think you could oversize it enough for it to do what it's doing, uh, or it's in backwards. I'm like, I don't know. And so it was an apartment style house that's like a townhouse type setup. I don't know
How
square
many?
footage. What's that?
I was going to ask that.
I don't know square footage exactly. If I had to guess, um,
Sounds like it needs
1,200,
Thousand
Sounds like
feet.
it
1,200.
needs 9,000 BTUs of cooling though.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and that was kind of the interesting point to that of, I mean, for this particular one, it's really shaded, and I mean you've got two touching walls that there's no load
Right.
coming from, so you just have your front door, back door, and roof essentially that's really shaded. And so and I mean when I was there,
They
it was
probably
hot.
need 1 ton of cooling.
It needs less than 1 ton
I
for
mean,
sure.
on the hot weather that you've been experiencing
Yeah.
beyond design.
Well, this one it was just the reason I was there is it was a bad capacitor, and the coil was pretty much stopped up on the outside. But other than that, they had never complained. They said, and so it's just like, okay, here's a system that even when it's really hot outside, doing 9,000 BTUs of cooling, it's able to maintain this whole house. And like, here's a if you needed any reason to justify that you don't need 2 tons, here you go. And this is a AC furnace, and so the furnace is what was it? I think it was a 55,000.
Oh, geez.
So it's just like, I mean, that thing's
Or
just,
or a 45
Yeah.
even or whatever. It's too big.
yeah, yeah. And it was just
Yeah,
another like,
2-ton heat pump would be great on that house. Although 2 ton of cooling might be too much.
Well, if
yeah, I
it's
mean,
variable capacity, it'd be fine.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
You probably do a 2-ton heat pump with no backup heat on that one.
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, I mean, you could do a ton and a half if you could get one, and
Hmm.
whatever. I mean,
Do they
like the
do they
Fit
make a
has
ton and a
that.
half? I think they have a ton and a half fit, right?
Yeah, they do. But yeah, so that was an interesting one. Um, pretty much all my other stores have probably just going to be nagging and complaining about other companies' software problems, CRMs, and uh,
The,
business networking organizations.
the problem associated, so Google's not really coming through with the leads.
I swear, anything Google related is not going to be a simple process. It's going to be a headache, and you're going to hate your life in between trying to get it set up and it launching. Because I just had it launched. It's been live for maybe a week so far, but God, it was a headache. It was like submitting the same document 50 different times because their AI system just can't pick up things. It's like you would think, you know, Google would eventually go, okay, either A or AI sucks, so we're going to go, license it out from X AI, someone that can actually do worth a shit, or stop using our stupid AI. But no. But the good thing though is I had someone basically dealing with the headache for me. It's just I had to wait forever. I mean, it took a month just to get things set up, but it's set up. It's now running, and I'm going to see how well that pans out.
Okay.
Uh, I think that's gonna go well.
I
Yeah,
hope so.
because
That'd be cool.
yeah, because I know last time when we had talked, I was talking about leaving BNI and that sort of thing. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the corporate level of BNI, they screwed me over. They basically stole $700 from me
Oh,
because they wouldn't actually give me the refund the way they should have. So I got screwed there, and I
you're
told
working
them
on that, or you're just gonna write it off?
just write it off because I could tell there was nothing going to come up. I just told them what I thought. I told them how big of a piece of shit I thought they were, and how, I mean, it's kind of borderline multi-level marketing anyways. You got a corporate company that essentially does nothing but provide a half-assed app for people to use, while the actual people doing the stuff are the ones providing value and doing the work. That's if they do.
So, are
And
you gonna have some fun with them on social media and the internet?
uh, I might. I'm more. There's only a few that I would say that's like, for the most part, especially out of that group, most of them I like for sure, and I still
Right.
deal with
I'm not
them, and
talking
I'll
about the people. I'm talking
yeah,
about the organization.
yeah. But the organization, yeah, I mean, I,
Yeah.
maybe if I mean, if I have other things that's going to be more pressing and more important, then I'll obviously do that. But if I get the hankering for it, I'll definitely be doing some trolling. Uh,
Tanner and whether he gets the hankering to troll, like,
Yeah, I kind of stopped using Facebook now, and so if uh if some of these were on X, if there was like some things there, that would be the perfect. Because I use X more than anything now.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I don't even really mess with Facebook. I'll kind of you know pop up on occasion over there, but yeah.
Hmm.
So it's been a whole thing. Oh, and at Field Pulse, they're kind of screwing me as well. They're trying to make me pay an additional year's worth of uh, subscriptions, even though I've not used it in what, 4 months now or so.
Huh.
So I'm getting to battle that out,
Okay.
getting to rehash the lies that I was told initially of their bullshit sales metrics that they claimed you could do.
Right. Right. Hmm. That's too bad. Well, I'm going to move over to this tab. And it's my home screen, right? This is interesting. Eric's improved this page, the account page. And the only person I see that's been entering their numbers here is Reedy. I didn't look through all of them, but I think this is going to be pretty cool once now that it's going to be easier to enter numbers. And then once
Yeah,
this gets tied to Service Titan and all the others, this will sort of automatically, hopefully, start to populate. And on the client page, go into the sample, 4 questions, free quote questionnaire, and then measurements. So in the measurements section, this is the sample house, and these optional notes here actually show up in the report. And this first one at the top shows up above the 4 questions. So the only thing, and I put like a sample here, and the only thing that's missing is talking about the 1 question. I think eventually the 1 question will make its way to the top of the report. And for those that are wondering what the 1 question is, you start when you go to the homeowner with, is there any one thing that you're hoping your new equipment would do that your old equipment didn't do? And the reverse on that is the magic wand. If you had a magic wand, what would you make better about your house? So anyway, at the top of this, should I just go down through this and show everybody the notes? So there's a notes field. There's a notes field here under the heating likely load range. There's a notes field here under the cooling likely load range. And then there's a notes field here below the duct pressure. And then in the building, the initial building year specification, there's a notes field. The purpose of this one, for those watching, is this one helps you communicate to the homeowner based on the homeowner's smiley faces on the after the 6 functions video. It helps them understand and narrow in the budget range of various equipment that can deliver various smiley faces. So the worst ones are 11 to 13. The 2-stage has, fair smiley faces under some of the 6 functions. And then modulating hybrid is good to fair. And then the modulating heat pump is best and good. Of course, if you want the absolute best dehumidification, for example, you need to not only have equipment that'll do reheat, but you may also need a whole house dehumidifier. So there are optional notes here. And then on the next one, this is where you've narrowed in on the equipment, and so that you can help them see what the new equipment, how the new equipment compares to the old equipment. And then I also suggest having the best that they were offered, so that they have that as a comparable. And then here are the notes for the second table, and that's it. And hit save and preview. And here's a preview of the report. So I'll use this as the mechanism for reviewing these notes field. And thank you for inviting us to your home. I hope you found the HVAC20 free quote visit informative. The goal of the HVAC20 free quote process is to help educate homeowners about choices they have at equipment replacement that can often solve existing problems, help decide on equipment features that match their needs and budget, and build a replacement specification that helps them avoid making a 15 to 20-year mistake. As promised, here is your HVAC20 free quote report, including the specification you narrowed in on. Often after having time to consider this, your ideal replacement specification will change some. As we discussed, once you feel comfortable you have your final specification, I'll build a price quote for that specification. If you have competitors' bids, I'll help you review the competitor bids to make sure they haven't cut any corner in their bids. Some homeowners hide the pricing on those bids, which is fine. And then here's the quiz scores. And in this situation, either a free quote or a comfort consult may be recommended. We need to change the wording on that because free quote is always going to, I think, be a free quote. So it should probably say, after your free quote, you may want to consider a comfort consult or something like that. What do you think? You guys
Probably so.
Okay. Without a comfort consult, we don't know enough about your house to give you an accurate load calculation. So instead, we provide the load range of typical homes that are the same size. Please keep in mind that Manual J is known for oversizing, particularly on heat load. You said your home is 2,400 square feet. We typically see 60 to 80,000 BTU furnaces in houses this size. They have a 90. And regularly replace them with a 3-ton heat pump that has 9 kilowatts of backup, which would be around 60 to 70,000 total heating capacity. And so the green, even in this house, is 30 to 54. We find good homes generally best served by sizing within the green section of likely load range. Heating likely load green is between 30 and 54,000 BTU. And then this is the cooling likely load. They have a 3.5 ton. And this is the wording I've come up with so far. So this is basically the rough draft on all this wording, and I think that we'll probably make it a lot better over time. Without further information, the industry standard is to change equipment out for the same size that exists now. This is likely to maintain current comfort levels or degrade them somewhat. An accurate load calculation to determine the right size equipment for your house is best done with prior energy use, an interview, and a blower door test. So again, a comfort consult. These are part of the HVAC20 comfort consult, which we also offer. The biggest problem we are seeing is equipment that is oversized to the ductwork. Since 2019, for optimum equipment performance and longevity, sizing to ductwork has become more important than sizing to house load. If you have no intention of replacing ductwork, we recommend sizing to the left of the red insufficient duct hash mark. If on the hottest or coldest days your thermostat slides a degree or two, we can discuss home improvement measures that will improve your comfort. The cooling likely load module is key to making good replacement sizing decisions. Cooling likely load, green, is 1 to 2 tons, with duct capacity max at 2.4 tons. Depending on your equipment choice, we suggest not going larger than 2-ton single stage, 2.5-ton 2-stage, or 3-ton communicating variable speed. And then the duct pressure summary. The pressure inside your ducts is just like blood pressure. It's best to be in a certain range. Too high and there's risk of early failure. Most manufacturers recommend keeping pressure below 0.5 water column, yet 70% of systems in a nationwide database are above that number. 47% are above 0.7, which is commonly agreed upon as the point where decreased equipment life becomes a serious risk. The fixes are typically reducing system size or increasing duct size. That's the standard wording, so that's not modifiable. And this is the modifiable part under that module. If you want to replace your current equipment with the same size single stage equipment, please remember the new equipment does not operate the same way the old equipment operates. We find homeowners have the best results when the new equipment's static pressure is just above 0.4 on the high stage. To achieve this for your house, we need to either replace with smaller equipment or increase the size of some or all of your ductwork. If your new equipment is too large for your ductwork and static pressure is running outside of manufacturer's specification, warranty coverage for related failures may be voided. And then the 70-second video on duct pressure so they can review it again. And then building your specification report. Did I read this already? I may have. The purpose of this table is to help you understand the current price ranges and features of different types of HVAC and narrow in on what type of equipment is going to best fit your specific needs and budget. To get true apples to apples bids, building a clear specification for contractors to bid to is very important. And then below the narrowing in on your specification table, the purpose of the second table is to help you further narrow in on your best fit replacement specification. After reviewing this report and talking with others, homeowners sometimes find they want to make changes to their specification. Please let me know if you have any questions or want to make adjustments. Thank you again for inviting us to your home. We hope this education and specification building exercise has been helpful to you. Over the next few days, changes may occur to you. As you can see, I've duplicated some of this stuff. It's good not to be in a hurry and not uncommon to think of things that you want to add or cut. You indicated you'll be ready to make a decision next Tuesday, and we scheduled our HVAC20 proposal review and pricing meeting for 4 p.m. Thank you for giving me the privilege of last to bid. Again, we found this is a necessary step in the HVAC free quote process, as some HVAC contractors have trouble bidding to a specification, and homeowners, not being expert in the field, don't catch it. If their bid cuts corners, we want to discuss those corners and if you're okay cutting them before we bid. We are only okay cutting corners if the client understands the corners being cut, the potential consequences, and instructs us to do it. And then this is the free quote process in 2-minute link to the video. So that, I think that's a pretty good start. What do you guys think?
I think so. Which one feature I think we may need for that is to save snippets, like text snippets, like to be able to have that as like a pre-saved snippet that you can just, when you're creating this within the specific, within the measurements tab as you're doing one, to be able to go, okay, let's just do the defaults and just punch it in and, give you the ability to kind of, maybe even tailor and create a few of these depending on, what the situation is. Because
Okay.
if someone is, you offer static pressure and they're like, yes, and you offer this other thing, like, yes, and there's someone that when you're posing these, hey, you could run into this problem, but you could do this to alleviate, and they're jumping straight on it, you're going to handle that differently than if someone's saying no to everything, like, oh, that static pressure, it's not useful, I don't want it, this other thing, I don't care about that. You're going to word things differently for that person versus the other one. And so maybe having snippets to have
Having
like
defaults.
this, yeah, defaults and things to where you can, similar with these tables, having templates to be able to go, okay,
Yes,
in this
I was
situation,
thinking the same thing.
let's,
Have templates for the notes fields.
yeah,
Okay. It'd be nice to also have cut and paste, and then also a go back arrow. So if you make a change that you want to undo, you can hit undo.
okay, so it doesn't have an undo, like a Control Z type thing.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't right now. And so my building this out was a little bit problematic because I did want to do cut and paste. And there were
Yeah.
things I'm like, oh, I want to move this stuff around, and I wasn't able to move it around, so I didn't get it looking. I would have I would have made it looking a little bit
Yeah.
better than this, but not having cut and paste made it a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I have to talk about is I did do a presentation to a bunch of home performance guys last week.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I built sort of a little intro for when I was talking to them to, make sure I didn't miss on anything. And I can share that. So they've changed StreamYard completely now, and I have no idea. I guess I will remove this and then add another screen share and add this share. Can you see that?
I can.
Okay. I got into home performance in 2008, and I didn't like the sales process I was seeing. It was primarily shoot from the hip, overpromise, underdeliver, and always be looking in your rearview mirror for unhappy or angry customers. So I, Eric Baller, and a slowly growing group of extremely knowledgeable and talented HVAC guys who also think a better sales process is needed have been developing the HVAC20 process. Most of our founding partners joined HVAC20 because they wanted to solve hard problems for their customers. HVAC, and that's why we were, developed out the comfort consult process and report. Most of our founding partners, HVAC20 eventually allowed them to solve complex client problems, save time and frustration. And over time, these benefits also started to become apparent. Higher closing ratios, higher job sizes, higher margin, higher profit, ability to disqualify the competition, happier clients, fewer callbacks, better, sometimes even gushing reviews. HVAC20 is a repeatable, ethical, technical sales process for HVAC and home performance contractors. Currently, it's broken into three main branches: free quote, comfort consult, comprehensive planning process. The comfort consult and comprehensive planning process have been successfully deployed for over 5 years now. A few years ago, it became apparent these are niche services, and we also needed a process for the 90 to 95% of homeowners who just want to replace their HVAC. So we developed the free quote, which is a specification process, built it into software, and are currently working on taking the report to minimum viability for broader deployment. This was my first time meeting with a group. So I was interested in finding out what they thought and their current sales process, closing rates, and job sizes, and understanding what barriers and concerns would prevent them from implementing the HVAC20 free quote process. One of the things we discovered is the whole process of properly performing an HVAC replacement or home performance sale is backwards. Instead of being about thoughtfully finding best solutions for the client, it's generally about making a sale that works best for the contractor as quickly as possible. So instead of coercively attempting to tell homeowners what to do and buy, turning homes into science projects, doing blower doors, load calcs, truing to energy use at every house, making sure you have airflow after the equipment is sized and delivered, we found starting with questions and education and offering different levels of load precision is a better fit for most homeowners. Instead of being the expert, the HVAC20 salesperson role is to be the guide. Our process helps educate the homeowner about information crucial to avoiding creating big problems and choices they have at equipment replacement that can help solving existing problems. Ironically, doing this leads to much higher revenue and profit per lead via larger sales, higher closing rates, better margins. It also leads to happier clients, fewer callbacks, and better reviews. The biggest problem we're seeing, and tell me if you agree with what I say here, Tanner, is equipment that is oversized to ductwork. Since 2019, for optimum equipment performance and longevity, sizing to ductwork has become more important to sizing to house load. Some contractors are simply sizing equipment to ductwork without even offering a more thorough approach to sizing. Our process is more thorough as it educates about worst case load and offers a path to a thorough load calc, particularly if duct replacement is clearly needed. We found that if you ask a replacement prospect if they're open to spending $15,000 to $20,000 on new ductwork, most usually asked if they can avoid that, particularly if their duct is in good condition and their prior equipment kept the home comfortable. If you educate them about the problems of oversizing the duct after 2019, generally they want to size equipment to the limitations of their ductwork. If you have a process that documents this education and they still want to oversize the equipment, consequences become their problem and not yours. So as part of a free quote duct pressure step, we offer a range of duct diagnostics, starting as simply as providing a visual assessment, all the way through performing full measure, quick, and true flow testing. The next problem we're seeing is most people don't have a replacement specification for you to bid to, which leads to a race to the bottom on equipment specification. As part of our free quote process, 6 functions video and replacement table step, we help people build a replacement specification that is best suited to their needs and budget. If they're shopping, a well-defined specification will help them flush out contractors that can bid to a spec, those who can't, and those who cut corners. We see a lot of grossly oversized equipment and almost never see undersized equipment. When we do, there are obvious enclosure deficiencies that really need to be solved. Think how so bad it doesn't matter what HVAC you put in it, the problems are not getting solved by HVAC alone. We always offer a comfort consult so they have the option of a very accurate load calc. But if they decline, we provide likely load range of houses their size and show where their estimated or measured duct capacity constraint is. If we don't have duct capacity, we encourage sizing in the green third of likely load, because if it isn't sufficient, generally the house has deficiencies that should be addressed. And then I have links for setting up an HVAC20 account, the Kajabi courses, the 3 videos that get provided through the visit, testimonials from Ronnie Austin, and Austin after he ran his first free quote way back when, before it was polished as well as it is today, comprehensive project case studies. So what do you think of that so far?
I think it's good.
Yeah, I think I might end up going to HVAC contractors, so that might be the beginning of a presentation.
Oh yeah, I think so. Because I think it thoroughly outlines just what we're doing, essentially. And, you know, a lot of the things that we've seen, a lot of the things that we've, put in the software to solve for those things we've seen, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So just for those watching, one of the benefits maybe I didn't mention is that following this process is a giant CYA. And following it diligently every time allows you, for those customers that do have callbacks, it allows you to understand exactly what happened at the sale. So you can understand either where you went wrong or, hey, this is what you said was going on and this is what you said you wanted. A lot of times, probably 90% of the time, just being able to bring this back refreshes the homeowner's memory of that visit and the things that they committed to. Um, and it avoids a problem altogether. On the 5 or 10% of the time that you get a dishonest person that you're dealing with, it allows you to hold more firm with regard to how what their choices are for addressing the problem. And this assumes it's not a situation like the one Ronnie talked about earlier, where the fault of the problems at this house really do fall on the company.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. And since it's the middle of the summer, nobody shows up to these midsummer Monday meetings. We're beyond the hour, unless Jason Trammell or somebody else is watching and they want to come into the after party.
Well, I guess we can end it then.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming. We'll see you again here in 2 weeks.
End stream.